In this question, we're given a sketch of a 2px orbital, and this entire sketch is about 800 picometers wide. So we have the x, the y, and the z axes shown here, and this is a 2px. Note that there is a 2py and a 2pz orbital, but they're not shown in this sketch. In this sketch, we're only talking about the 2px orbital. And it wants to know something about the probability of finding an electron in different places on this plot. What's important to remember is that the region where you have the highest probability of finding the electron is around this, or on the surface of the orbital. So here and here is where you have the highest probability of finding the electron. But somewhere inside those spheres, the probability is more than 0. So here it says 100 picometers above the nucleus on the z-axis. Well, a p orbital is recognizable because it has two lobes with a node in the middle. On the z-axis and on the y-axis, the probability of finding an electron is 0 in a 2px orbital. So here, the probability is 0 because it's in a node. 100 picometers to the left of the nucleus on the x-axis. Well, as we move along the x-axis, in this case to the left, we're going into the orbital. So this is where you're going to have a higher than 0 probability of finding an electron. So I'm just going to write this as greater than 0. So if A is 0 and B is greater than 0, A must be less than B. Here we have 100 picometers below the nucleus on the z-axis. Well, anything that's either on the y or the z-axis is within reason 0. And 100 picometers behind the nucleus on the y-axis, so if it's right on the y-axis, it's 0, so therefore these two things are equal. 100 picometers to the right of the nucleus on the x-axis. Well, if you stay on the x-axis, doesn't matter if you go right or left, because you have these two lobes, the probability is greater than 0. However, in the second one, it says 100 picometers in front of the nucleus on the y-axis. So if you go on the y-axis, it's in a node, so the probability is 0. So in this case, we have greater than 0 and 0, so A is greater than